Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and as always I'm here to recap The Bachelor with Rachel Lindsay, or as Chris Harrison calls her, Rach. I wondered throughout the episode if Rachel is annoyed by that or if it's something that like she says like, oh, call me Rach, because sometimes shortening names to nicknames when you don't really know the person is kind of annoying, but who knows. Let's just get right into it. This episode was boring in my opinion. The highlight was Dean's date, and maybe a little bit of the spelling bee because it did make me laugh a little bit, but the rest of it was just complete trash. I hated it. I was actually so bored taking notes. I wasn't even paying attention half the time, so hopefully this recap is semi-okay. So I actually didn't see the first couple minutes because I was coming back from work. But when I tuned in, which was I think it was like 8:03, so when I tuned in, it said that Lee was vowing to be a problem. We're finding out that Lee is the villain. Whether or not he was put on the show to be a villain or he's just now showing his true colors, I'm not sure. Especially because I guess he has been getting a lot of social media attention. I guess he's been putting out a lot of mean tweets, and not the funny Jimmy Kimmel version. So Eric starts off with saying, you do you and I'ma do me, which is exactly what I was saying last week. Just leave Eric alone. And it's so funny because this week the heat is completely off Eric and nobody's talking about Eric anymore because he actually wasn't the villain. He wasn't going to be the villain this season, and I'm so happy the heat is off Eric. So it starts off at the rose ceremony again, and Lee interrupts Kenny, which Kenny was very offended because he said that he had a good relationship with Lee, which I didn't see Kenny and Lee being friends, like, in the house. Like, I would have never guessed that they had a relationship or a friendship, but apparently they did, and Kenny gets very upset about it. And I think it's funny how Dean says in an interview, I think Lee's kind of, bitch. It was so funny how he said it. Then Lee's talking to Rachel, and he's like, I have, like, a story, and it's kind of sad. And then he was, like, talking about his grandpa, and he's like, he, like, got cancer. Which, like, isn't to be mean about him and his grandpa getting cancer. It's the way that Lee presented it. And I don't think that Lee will get picked. So, like I say, none of this even matters. But I'm surprised that Rachel is entertaining Lee so much. And I'm surprised that Rachel is into Lee because Lee, to me, is not attractive. I don't see Lee as Rachel's type, and I don't see Lee fitting into Rachel's world. So I feel like if she is keeping him around, it's because the producers are telling her to. I just don't see Rachel actually liking Lee, but maybe I'm wrong. So then we learn that no one knows the difference between quirks and quirks. They just keep saying quirk. Dean points out that basically he picks on the black guys. So when I say that is, you know, the segment where he was talking in an interview and Dean was like, he's been picking fights with people that he's not used to seeing, people that he's not used to being around on a daily basis. And the producer was like, what do you mean by that? And he said, you know exactly what I mean, which the producers annoy me in the show, and that's why I tell you guys this all the time. The producers annoy me. They make the Bachelor and Bachelorettes do stupid things for the sake of the show, when the show would get good ratings if it just focused on the romance part of it, because that's what all of us girls across America want to see with our wine glasses in our hand and our dog beside us on bed, is we want to see the romance, not this stupid Kenny Lee shit. But he said, you know exactly what I mean. The producers kind of were like, well, do you mean black? Like, black is a bad word to say now when it shouldn't be. And, you know, I feel like Bachelor in Paradise is getting a lot of heat. You would think that they would try to stay away from touchy subjects like this, because it shouldn't even be, a touchy subject. It should be, Lee is picking on the black guys. It should be like a known thing, like calling out on it. It's not a secret that he is only picking fights with the black guys in the house, but who knows? I mean, then I see him trying to start stuff with Peter later, so maybe he's just a dick to everyone. So Kenny says he's going to handle Lee, and he buttons up his coat. So he, like, stands up, and he's like, I'm about to handle the situation, and buttons up his coat. I just, like, imagine him, like, if he was a girl, just, like, hold my earrings, putting her hair up, like, I pictured Kenny as, like, a girl putting her hair up to go and handle Lee, and I thought it was hilarious, and you guys know I'm a fan of Kenny, and I was all for it. Bryan says he wants to talk about vulnerability with her. So they are getting started and they're talking and he's saying, I want to be vulnerable with you. I want to know a fear. So she's like, okay, I'll tell you a fear I have. I have a fear that you are so charming, it's not real. And there was a couple other people on the Bachelor Nation that said, like, you're almost too perfect and it scares me, which, red flag. Take it from all the other Bachelor and Bachelorettes in history. Take it from all the other Bachelor and Bachelorettes in history that have fallen for the perfect guy that they know is not good for them, that is just like their exes. I mean, perfect example is Andy with Josh Murray. She knew that he's an athlete. Like, this is the kind of guys that I always date, and they say the perfect things, but then it never works. And she picked him, and it didn't work. And Ben and Lauren, he said, like, Lauren's, like, too perfect. Like, there's nothing. And Ben and Lauren are no longer together. I mean, there are couples that work that were like, this is too good to be true. But if it's literally too perfect, like, literally everything you say is by the book, like, funny answers, like right on spot, never any hesitation, never any triumphs or never any struggles, that would, if I was Bachelorette, I wouldn't pick that guy. I would stay clear of that guy because Bryan is definitely that guy in this situation. So he literally says all the right things, and that's fine in the beginning, but he's just too perfect, and he's in the wrong way. He's not genuine. And I'm not team Bryan. Like, I made it clear that I don't like Bryan. Something about Bryan rubs me the wrong way. He's probably a nice guy, and he probably is having feelings for Rachel, but he just has no depth to me. And he answers back with, like, pickup lines. Like, I am very turned off by that as a girl. My type is, like, do not give me a pickup line. If I'm asking you a question, like, what is your weakness? And he says, you make me weak in the knees. Like, no, get away from me. That's too cheesy for me. She loves it, though. And she says that he's a breath of fresh air, which, yeah, like, he might be compared to, like, Lee. But I'm not even going to say anymore because you guys know how I feel about Bryan. So Kenny talks to Lee, and they start to get loud, and Rachel hears. Lee says, by the way, who was she talking to when Kenny started to get loud? I am like, who are you? He looked like a mix between, like, a chipmunk and, like, a troll. I was like, what the F? Like, who hired you to be, like, a prop guy? Like, where are you? Who, Bryce? I thought his name was, but I thought Bryce was the firefighter. And that's not the same guy. I'm way off here, so someone comment and tell me who that was. Where did he come from? And why does he look like that? Lee says he loves when he smiles and an angry man gets angrier, which is, like, a villain. Like, he doesn't have to even say anything. He's just smiling. And Kenny is falling right into his trap. Lee is staying calm and smug, and Kenny is freaking out. And Kenny is going to lose it. He is going to, like, Rachel is going to see this, and he's going to be pinned as aggressive. This was all my thoughts this whole time, and I was like, Kenny, calm, cool down. Calm down. Peter then comes up and says that he is trying to stay out of the groups, and he says that he feels sorry for her and that she shouldn't have to deal with her. That's genuine. Like, Peter, when he speaks, although I think sometimes he can be a little boring, he is genuine, and I think that's refreshing. That is the kind of refreshing that she needs. My phone keeps locking. So Rachel admits that the pressure, just like I predicted, the pressure of being the black Bachelorette, she feels like she needs to pick a black man. And maybe it's because she was sending Diggy home over Lee. Maybe that's, like, the decision she knew she was doing. Maybe the decision was the producers were telling her to keep Lee around if she knew she wasn't going to, like, date Diggy. Like, keep Lee over Diggy. Because at that point, like, I feel like she knows who her frontrunners are. And I feel like at that point she knows, like, the bottom of the barrel. And she's like, well, I don't really see a future with Diggy, and I don't really see a future with Lee. And then the producers at that point say, okay, keep Lee around and send Diggy home, though. If you don't really see a future with either one of them, keep Lee, though. Which I really think that they do. I think if they narrow it down to, like, the bottom, I think the producers have a say on who she keeps at that moment if she knows that there's no future with either one of them. that's smart for the producers to do, and like why wouldn't they? And like why wouldn't the Bachelorette like go along with that? It's better ratings, it's better money for her. I mean, I definitely think that was like the dilemma, but she couldn't say that on camera, and I just felt bad for her that she was really taking it hard. And when Chris Harrison comes out to talk to her like he did, I think that goes to show that like Chris is like the guardian angel and he's like there to tell her, and I think that's like where things get a little iffy. They don't like record those conversations because they're like inside or like, hey, like you gotta keep Lee around, just do it. So Chris Harrison comes in and announced that Rach is having a hard time and that they're not going to go right to the rose ceremony. So I am like at this point like, let's get this freaking rose ceremony over with. I'm so done with this. And then Lee gets the rose over Diggy. Guys, I like Diggy. You know I was a fan of Diggy, and I liked his glasses, and I don't care what anybody said about Diggy and his glasses. I like Diggy and his glasses, and I hope that we see Diggy and his glasses in the future. But if Bachelor in Paradise is pretty much done for, I don't know where we're going to ever see Diggy. I'm going to have to stalk him on social media now. So this portion was a drama fest, and I'm ready for the love, for the romance at this point. I am ready. So now they're in Hilton Head, and they're on a golf course in the resort, and they're clearly like showing what the resort is because they're getting sponsored by them, I guess. And they do they do that Rachel scream off the top of the balcony like they do every season with every Bachelor and Bachelorette, and they find out that Dean gets the one-on-one date. I was really excited. So Rachel's wardrobe. Okay, first she has this long fur coat on, and then she has this like floral jacket with this like cool casual outfit with this like floral like shiny satin jacket. I don't like it. I don't know if she dresses herself or if they dress her, but I feel like they're not, if they're dressing her, I don't think they're being representative. Like what she wore on Nick's season was way better than what she's wearing this time. I don't get it. So she says that she has high expectations for Dean's one-on-one. She says that she is ready for Dean to step up and she's ready for this. She has high expectations. They're on a picnic and they see a blimp, and then Dean says, like, I think that blimp is coming over here. Which, like, duh. Like, you're not going to see a random blimp in Bachelor and not go on it. So they find out that Rachel calls blimps bimps. So she starts to say bimp, and we find out that she can't hold a champagne bottle as she says it, and it gets all exciting and goes all over her. And then we also learn that Dean is terrified of blimps, which I didn't know that there was a real fear. I think he's terrified of heights, and I'm scared of heights, so I'm not terrified of blimps in themselves, but I would probably be scared to get on the blimp. It's a textbook, if we can conquer the scaredness of heights, we can conquer anything in love. It's like the textbook that, which I'm not complaining because I like the cheesy love stuff. Not cheesy like Bryan, but that's kind of, you know, we'll let it go. We'll let it slide, Rachel. I think it's so funny too because they get on the blimp and they're like, okay, everybody, buckle up. So they buckle up, and then the next scene you cut to her and she's like, can I drive? You know, can I fly this thing? And she's like out of her seat. I'm like, bitch, buckle up. Like, they just told you to buckle up. Why are you out of your seat? And now you're flying this fucking blimp? Like, I'm so confused at these safety precautions. So, anyways, Rachel says she's a daredevil and she likes adventure. And I also think she might be drunk on this date. And they kiss and it's sweet. And Dean flies the blimp and he looks like a little schoolboy for the first time flying a blimp, which, I mean, I would be too. I mean, who gets to fly a blimp on their daily life? Who gets to be in a blimp? Who gets to see blimps? Anyways, it's a pretty cute date. The guys are back home talking about Dean and the situation with him being younger. He's only 25 and she's 32, I think. And they're saying that he needs to show his maturity at this point and that he should be scared. I don't think he should be scared. I think she loves Dean. I think he's little, and I think he's like her fun little side thing. I think that she likes that he's younger. I think she likes his looks. I think she likes his personality. I think Dean's fine. I think Dean is nice. I think Dean is Bachelor material. He is young, but I don't really think that Rachel's thinking about his age at this point. So the date card comes at home, and on the date card, it's a lot of people. It's Alex, Anthony, Peter, Bryan, Jonathan, Adam. Sorry, I should say it like Peter said it. Alex, Anthony, Peter, Bryan, Jonathan, Adam, Matt, Penny, Lee, Iggy, Eric, Will, and Josiah. That was long-winded, but that's literally how it was. Did anybody else notice that Peter was a robot? Actually, I just commented on Two Bros and Some Brick, their recap, and they said that he's a robot with his rap name, which If you watch their recap, you'll understand about his rap freestyle. And I think it's hilarious that he said it like that. Like, they're probably like, okay, so we won't have Peter read the date card anymore. Because they didn't even, like, clap. Like, woo! It was so awkward. I don't know if anybody else saw that, but I saw it. So Jack Stone gets the one-on-one. My prediction is that it won't go well. And I hate that they didn't show the one-on-one on this date. But they gave the one-on-one card to him, but they didn't. So now we're going to pick up with this next episode, and Jack Stone's going to be going on this one-on-one. Could have took the robot Peter and, like, edited that into next week and then started with Jack Stone's one-on-one. I'm so confused as to why they didn't show that, but I don't think he's going to get the rose. I think, and like, there's a 2-1-1 next week, too, because there's 2 episodes. I don't know, it's weird to me that the way that worked out. So now we're at, like, the dinner portion of the date, and Dean and Rachel, and these trees with, that's what I have, like, explanation points. Hanging lights, the hanging lights off the trees, beautiful. Like, that's where they should get married. Like, that's, Dean and Rachel should go back to that spot and get married if he proposes to her, because it was beautiful. That was a really good setup for The Bachelor. Good job, guys. That is the dates that I like to see. It's so cute, romantic, beautiful. That's what I have written here. He asks about her upbringing, and she says she's from a strict religious family, and he says that he was as well. And then he goes into a story about how his mom died of cancer. Listen, this story was genuine. It made me cry. I think his tears were real. He couldn't even, like, you could tell, like, he was looking down while I was saying it. You could tell he was, like, letting it out for the first time, and he was doing it in front of America, which was really beautiful. And Rachel felt it, and she cried afterwards, and you know, I feel like that was genuine. I felt like that was a real moment. I felt like Dean opened himself up and was doing the right thing by doing that. He wasn't looking for a storyline. He didn't lead with that. That wasn't in, like, his, like, opening act video on the TV for the very beginning. He didn't lead with that at all. And it was beautiful. It was sad, and I shed tears, but it was seriously so genuine. Like, that was genuine. So he gets the rose, and you can see the connection. I really think he is sweet. Like, I don't think he's putting on an act. I think he's genuinely sweet, and I think you can see the connection there. I think that Rachel is giddy around him, and I think Rachel feels stress-free around him. So, group date. They're on the boat. They're excited, and they're having a dance-off. So, like, Jonathan with this little wiggle, and I don't know what else he did. He did a wiggle, and probably something else. And they're dancing to no music, and then they're having rap-offs. Like, what did Bachelor have planned for this boat? Like, is that what they actually said? Like, guys, you're going to have a rap-off, and you're going to have a dance. Like, did they just decide to do that, or did they just, like, hand them drinks and be like, do things? And then she's like, take off your shirts. Like, I think Rachel was drunk. Josiah said that he's the sexiest guy on the boat, and then he does some weird pec lifts. Rachel's drunk again. She tells them to take off their shirt. They're going to have a push-up contest. Josiah says, hi, I'm going to do it. Kenny does a rap. They go crazy because it was funny. Peter starts to rap, which was hilarious because it's Peter. And he has a personality. Like, you actually see Peter's personality, and I liked it. I don't care if he would have bombed. At least he came out of his shell. He was so funny. I loved it. That's what I said. So they find out they're going to spelling bee. Josiah is pumped. He said his vocabulary is so detailed and intricate. He was born ready. So does anybody see AJ in the crowd? Adam Jr. Hilarious. He's been all through Bachelor, and I am in love with AJ. AJ better be at the proposal at the end. AJ better be, like, in the background down on one knee, even if Adam is not going to be there, because you know Adam's not going to be there because who is Adam again? Second of all, he needs to be at Men Tell All. He needs to be next to Chris Harrison at the host seat. He needs to continue to be there. He is the best thing about this show right now. So, Alex, Jonathan, Anthony, Adam will all get the first round. Kenny is up, and he's ready to show the world he's not just brawn when he gets champagne wrong. He's like, I can't believe that I didn't get champagne right, which was so funny because that's how I spell champagne. I see Kenny and I have a connection. Iggy is up for round 2, and then he's out. Thank God, because by the end of this episode, I effing hate him. Eric spells facade with a PH. You know, like phone. Facade. That was hilarious. He's out. Peter's out, which made me sad. Josiah's up, and the word is stunning, and he uses stunning in a sentence for Rachel. People were annoyed by Josiah. Maybe if I was there, I would have gotten annoyed by Josiah too, but I thought Josiah was funny. Maybe if I was there, I would have been like, okay, Josiah, get on with the spelling bee. And if I just lost, maybe I would have been mad. But I thought he was funny. He probably would get on my nerves after a while, but at that moment, I thought he was funny. Anthony is up. He loses. Now it's between Will and Josiah. Will is up with physiological, and he doesn't get it. Josiah's word is polyamorous? Polyamorous? Don't know that word. And he is soaking it up. He's being funny. People said he was annoying. I thought he was funny, and he wins. Sorry, I just said that. Josiah is feeling on top of the world. He has his trophy. He's drinking out of his trophy. I mean, you do you, Bill, as Eric says. So cocktail portion begins, and it starts with Peter. He pulls her back, and he brings her some wine, and their conversation just flows so naturally. And I love that he asks her, if you're at home, are you in barefoot or are you in socks? Because those are the kind of questions that I want to know about my future husband. That is really cute. Peter says Rachel is very much the type of person he wants to fall in love with. And I think Peter is level-headed, although maybe boring, maybe not when you get to know him, but I think Peter is very level-headed and logical, which I would look for in someone that went on The Bachelor, because the rest of them are probably batshit crazy. So the men are talking about how great Rachel is. It's really cute. Like, they're talking some amazing things about her, how she's, like, poised and elegant, and they really do like Rachel very much. Eric says he's having a better week, and I feel like we got the Eric back that we saw in the beginning. He seems more confident, he seems more calm, and I just feel like Eric is back, and I'm happy not to see him in turmoil. Iggy is getting annoyed with Josiah. Iggy is literally a bug that I just want to flick. Iggy annoys the crap out of me. I said Iggy is annoying, all caps. He says he's protective. Like, no, if you're protective of Rachel, protect her from Lee, not from Josiah. Josiah is not, I mean, maybe he's, like, annoying, or maybe he might even be a douche, but he is not Lee. Protect him from Lee. Why are you talking, Iggy? Like, I'm mad at you. I don't like you. Oh my gosh, just go. Iggy is starting drama, and he started it with Eric and now Josiah, and they point that out. Eric talked to Iggy with such maturity, and he's like, listen, Iggy, you did this with me last week, and now you're doing this with Josiah. Like, maybe there's a trend happening here. And then it cuts to Josiah, and he's like, Iggy shoots steroids in his nuts. He told us that. Which is so funny because it shows the difference between them. But, I mean, Eric wasn't the most mature last episode. But Josiah just laid it all out there. By the way, he shoots steroids in his nuts, guys. So Lee is sitting with her, and then Rachel confronts him, and he basically says that it's Kenny's fault. And he's like, it was aggressive, he gave me the middle finger. Which, if a guy comes to me as like, he got aggressive with me, he gave me the middle finger, I'd be like, you're playing the victim. Because what guy is like, he got so aggressive with me? Like, a woman, yes. But like a guy, I mean, a guy, in my opinion, should be like, yeah, he was really pissed at me. And he yelled at me, but whatever, I can take it. We're guys, we talk, we fight, we shake hands afterwards. That's the way that I picture men fighting. But like when a man is like, he got aggressive with me, I didn't know what I did, I was just smiling, I was just being mean, you know, I feel like there's a snake in the grass there. As opposed to Kenny, who is like, yeah, I got aggressive and I messed up, because that's like men. Like, that is men. You want a man, like, I got aggressive, I got pissed, yeah, I yelled, I'm sorry, it shouldn't have been how I handled it. And that's real. Like, be smart, Rachel. Like, if it's too good to be true, like Bryan and like Lee, it probably is. Like, it's probably not real. It's probably a facade with a PH. So Kenny raps for her, and he's like, what's up, Rach? Which I thought was so cute. He was like, rapped, and he's like, so what's up, Rach? And then she like hammers him down and is like, listen, did you get aggressive with Lee? Lee told me. And Rachel's like really confronting these guys about what everybody says about each other, and I feel like she's stirring up the drama. So like, don't cry when drama happens, because you're in it too. Kenny puts his hand on Lee's shoulder at the end. I think he like wanted to strangle him, but he just placed it on his shoulder and said, we need to have a chat, bro. Which entails the end of the episode. We don't see Jack Stone going on the one-on-one. we don't see the rose ceremony. I really hope that Kenny can get his act together. Kenny's slowly losing grip of the Bachelor title, I think, that I thought he was going to get. He's slowly losing grip of Rachel, that I thought he was going to get pretty far. And I'm pretty upset with the way that the Bachelor franchises, that the producers are editing this drama. It's the whole theme of it, and I'm over it. I just want to see the romance. Dean's date was fine. Thank God for that, because if Dean didn't have that date, is that the only thing that happened? Yeah, the group date, but the one-on-one, that was the only romance that happened this whole episode. So, oh my God, it was a snooze fest. I was so annoyed by it. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you think about Kenny. Let me know if you think Josiah is annoying. Let me know if you think Iggy's annoying. Let me know who your top picks are, and let me know if you think this season will be surrounded by the men fighting. I don't mind when the women fight, because that's like what women do on these shows, but when men fight, it's kind of annoying unless it's like physical fighting, which I think it looks like next week might be. And if Kenny gets physical with Lee, or if Lee punches Kenny, or I don't know, I'm really hoping that's just like a lot of like I really hope they're being extreme with that, because I don't want to see Kenny do that, especially because he has a daughter. I don't want him to be looked like that on TV when he has a daughter at home. So, okay, well, thanks again for watching. If you like me enough to subscribe to me, that would be great. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a comment. I do daily mom and family vlogs if you're into that kind of thing. So go on over to my videos. Check out some of my other videos. My son just turned 1, and we just did a birthday party vlog, which was so exciting. I'm going to the beach this week, so I'll be vlogging at the beach. I'm super excited for that, to get away. This Bachelor Nation is just sending me into a tizzy. I need to go to the beach and just dunk my head in the water, and maybe a lifeguard will come over and show me some romance. I'm just kidding, I'm married. But other than that, have a great day, morning, or night, and thanks so much for watching. Bye, guys.